Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Just hang in there with me, okay? All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Super excited to be here with you today. It's going to be a little bit different. Now, what I would love for you to do is listen closely because this message is going to sound like it has nothing to do with you. It's going to sound like it has nothing to do with real estate. And it's 100% about you and 100% about real estate. So please just pay really close attention. All right, so graduated from college in 1987. My degree was in education, so I taught school. And while teaching school, I was recruited into the fundraising business by one of the local fundraising companies. They had come to our school to do a kickoff. This is when you introduce the fundraiser to the kids, and it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be exciting, it's supposed to be engaging. And quite honestly, this guy that was talking to 400 kids was kind of having a hard time, and I could tell. And I asked him, I said, would you like my help? Is it okay if I get up there and do this for you? He said, sure, go ahead. So I did. And he came up to me afterwards and he said, you need to get into the fundraising business. I'm like, tell me more. So I got out of teaching, went into the fundraising business, and like anything else, it was really hard. I made $15,000 my first year. Now we're talking 1990, and $15,000 was more in 1990 than it is today, but it's still not enough to pay your bills. So I had to go back to waiting tables. And just like a lot of us, we put ourselves through college, waiting tables, bartending, and I did the same thing. And when I quit doing that at, I think, 22, I thought, I'm done with this forever. And here I am, 28 years old, and I'm going back working 5 nights a week, waiting tables and working my fundraising business during the day. Now, in the fundraising business, it's sales. And, one of the first questions that you have to ask yourself when you get into a business is, who's my customer? By the way, if you're taking notes, that's something I would write down. Okay. Who's my customer? The second question that you have to ask yourself is, how do I get in touch with them? In other words, email, phone number, mailing address. Well, in the fundraising business, your customer is usually a group of parents who are on the PTA. And that information is not public. There's nowhere you can go. There's no tool that you can buy where you can download that information. You simply have to get in your car and drive from school to school to school and talk to the gatekeepers. Now, who are the gatekeepers? The gatekeepers are the staff that are in the office. And I would get in my car every day, 5 days a week, between March and June, because that's when the decisions are made for the fundraisers that are going to take place in August, September, and October. I would visit an average of 10 schools a day. So business is a math equation, which means I was visiting an average of 50 schools a week and 200 schools a month. It's a lot. The other thing that I realized was, you don't walk in the door, go up to the front desk, introduce yourself, and immediately get what you're looking for. The goal of this cold call, and that's what it is. The goal of this cold call is to get contact information. It's another thing I would write down if I were you, okay? The goal of this contact is to get contact information. And on average, I was going to a school 5 times and hearing no, 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 no. We've already got somebody we work with. You're wasting your time. You don't need to come back. And of course, I just kept going back. And on average, it would take about 5 times, 5 visits for me to get that phone number. So I'm still going out and I'm getting in my car and I'm visiting 10 schools per day. starting to get some traction in the way of here's the person you need to speak to, here's their phone number. So I'm going out and I'm driving from school to school from 8 in the morning, typically until about 2 in the afternoon. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to start lead generating and making phone calls between 2 and 4, maybe 4:30. And then it's time to go do job number 2. And I'm waiting tables at night from 5 until 12 or whatever it was, and then get up the next day and do it again. All right, year 1, I made $15,000. It's hard. It's another thing you should write down. Anytime you set out on a journey to launch a business, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. If anybody told you it was going to be easy, they were lying to you. Now, everybody has a ceiling of achievement, and some people's ceiling of achievement is higher than others, meaning some people are going to realize they're going to see success faster than others, but we're all going to hit ceilings of achievements, and then we have to have breakthroughs. All right, year 2, it's start over again. And in year 2, we grew the business just a little bit. And I think by year 3, I made over $100,000 and I was able to stop waiting tables. Thank God. Now, I'm starting to gain traction and I'm building relationships by focusing on the relationship with the customer. The customer is everybody in that school. Let's go and start back with the staff. Okay. So in the fundraising business, when the kids turn in those flyers and then the products are packed and the products are shipped to the school, it's a mess. Delivery day is something when the products are delivered to the school, it's something that nobody in the school likes. The front office doesn't like it. The teachers don't like it. And I know that. So on delivery day, I would stop and pick up 10 dozen donuts. That was just what I did. And I'd walk in the day and I say, congratulations, it's delivery day. These are for all of you in the front office and also for all of the teachers. Just put them in the teacher's lounge and say thank you from me. So I moved from a day where they were dreading this day to it's donut day. And after a year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years of working with the same school over and over again, that they knew that on delivery day, you got donuts. So build relationships with your customers, deliver service that creates raving fans. You're taking notes? Write that down. So I lasted in the fundraising business for 10 years. And then in 2002, I got my real estate license. And my first question was, who's my customer? Well, I knew getting into the fundraising business that I was going to focus on sellers. So my customer were homeowners who wanted to sell their home. How do you find them? Well, I'm not going to get in my car and just drive around from neighborhood to neighborhood and start knocking on doors, even though you can do that. I was looking for the fastest source of business opportunity, which was for sell by owners and expireds. How do you get a hold of your customer? Well, thank God, at least in the real estate business, there's a list that I can purchase, or I can go in the MLS and look for expired listings, or I could go on for sell by owner and look for sell by owners. The next question that I had asked myself is, what's the math equation here? If you're taking notes, you need to write that down. And I started talking to people who had lived before me. Success leaves clues. And I realized the math equation that most people who had done what I wanted to do was 2 appointments a day, 10 a week, 40 a month with a 10% conversion ratio. Which means my job was to get face-to-face with 2 for sale by owners or 2 expired listings every single day, 40 a month, and then persistent follow-up in order to take 8 seller listings. And my goal was 10 right from the very start. And I didn't get to 10 seller listings right away. It took time. You guys seeing a pattern here? It was hard. You guys seeing a pattern here? I remember going out for walks in the morning when I was just getting started in the real estate business, and I'm walking and I'm praying, God, open doors. Help me find somebody today that wants to sell their home because I'm in survival mode. It is literally one closing to the next closing just to be able to pay the bills. I'm definitely not in stability yet. I'm certainly not in success yet. And it is hard. But it's the one thing I can do. I can focus on the problem, which is going to paralyze me in fear. Or I can focus on the solution. The solution is the math equation. The solution is the non-negotiable standards that I've set for myself that day, which was get on the phone and make calls until you schedule 2 appointments. That was it. Get on the phone and make calls until you schedule 2 appointments. Then go on the appointment and build a relationship with that homeowner. You guys see the connection here? It's just like going into that school and building a relationship with that office staff such that they went from no to telling the PTA president, for example, this guy, you got to meet with him. He is so persistent. He's really good. And it's a it's a pull method versus a push method. All right, we can do a whole call on that, not today. And I am building relationships with these homeowners by delivering value. I am working like a farmer and thinking like a hunter, knowing that because I did my research and I talked to people who had done it before me, because success leaves clues that success is in the follow-up. If you're taking notes, write that down. And I created a systematic plan for following up. I created scripts for following up with these homeowners that would allow me to deliver value, look for opportunity, and as soon as I saw opportunity, transition from being a farmer to being a hunter. And over time, I started to see results. I went from selling 1 home in my first 6 months to selling over 100 homes a year. But it didn't happen overnight. It took time. I struggled. And it happened because I was crystal clear on my goal. I was crystal clear on the math. And I set standards that were non-negotiable, and I hit those standards. All right. Tell me what you heard.
It's a relationship business. Focus on the solution, not the problem.
Yep. Good job, Sean.
And focus on the relationship.
That's right.
I mean,
know who your customer is.
Oh, so important.
What you focus on expands.
Oh, really good, Sean.
Daily.
I also heard having systems for your follow-up
There you go.
brings the success.
There you go, Jacqueline. There you go.
It's math and standards. Yeah.
It's math and standards, Michael. That's right.
Very good.
Hey, John, it's Julia. I heard being persistent, continuing to do it day in and day out.
That's right. Success. No is not a word that lives in my vocabulary. No simply means not yet. I reject rejection. I understand that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. It's one school in Florence, Kentucky. By the way, that's the part I left out. I was doing this in Cincinnati in northern Kentucky. And this school, Florence Elementary School, I walk in, I talk to the staff, and they say, no, we work with Cherrydale Farms. And the principal runs the fundraiser and he's friends with the salesperson. You're wasting your time here. So a couple of weeks later, I go back and they're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I had a new product that we came out with that I wanted to drop by for all of you, just to give you, a treat for the day, right? A year later, after stopping in this school an average of 2 times a month, the ladies in the front office got me in front of the principal. The principal hired me. 2 years later, after running their fundraiser, Cherrydale Farms calls me and wants to fire this other guy and hire me. Like, no, I'm not doing that. But here's what I want you to hear. It's not about me. 24 no's before I even got in the door. Are your goals important to you enough that you're willing to reject rejection 24 times? Can you call an expired listing and say and have the same expired listing tell you no 24 times, and yet you're still calling them, knowing that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information? All I needed to do was find the new information. All right, a couple more ahas and we're going to jump.
You know, John, it makes me think of that video we watched of the salesman that would go door to door to door.
Bill Porter.
Bill Porter. It made me think of that Bill Porter video in a big way.
That's right. That's right. I agree.
For those of you on this call that have never seen it, maybe we should watch it again at some point.
I think that's a great idea. We will. All right, everybody. I hope you got value today. Make it a great day. Go out there and work with urgency, guys. Work with urgency. Work as if your life depended on you getting one listing today. Don't stop until you schedule that one appointment. Every single person here can achieve whatever goal they set if they will just focus, work with energy and urgency. All right, go get them, everybody.
Thank you, John.
Have a great day,
John,
everyone.
we'll see you in the morning.
Got it, guys.
Thank you.